Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Nahmaduhu Rasulih al-Kareem. Amma ba'd. Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. This is the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he would recite when the month of Rajab would start. And we are now in the month of Rajab, just 2 short months away from Ramadan. Many scholars are of the opinion that a very important event took place in this month of Rajab. Anyone know what that important event was? Yes. Isra wal miraj. And this event I'm going to talk about this week, but I want to give a bit of background first. At this time in the life of the Prophet ﷺ, in this year, Khadija, the beloved wife of the Prophet ﷺ, for 25 years, passed away. Then his uncle Abu Talib, who had taken care of the Prophet from a young age, he passed away. The people of Makkah were torturing and persecuting the Muslims. The Prophet had gone to another city of Ta'if to preach Islam, and they pelted the Prophet ﷺ with stones and rocks until his feet and his shoes were bleeding and filled with blood. So this was too much for any person to take. And so the Prophet, as a form of consoling and providing comfort to the Prophet, took him on this miraculous journey of Isra wal Miraj. Now this journey is split into 2 sections. Al-Isra is the first section from when the Prophet was taken from Makkah all the way to Masjid al-Aqsa, which is over 2,000 kilometers or 1,700 miles away. Now this was in the time when there was no aeroplanes, there was no jets, no Concords, no Ferraris, no nothing, Mercedes C-Class, just donkeys, camels and goats. And Allah made the Prophet ﷺ journey from that in one night. Then Mi'raj is the second of the sections of the journey where the Prophet ascended through the 7 heavens and came into the company of Allah Himself. So what is this journey and why is it so miraculous? Well, the first section took place physically. This is not a dream, and it was in Makkah. And then a miraculous animal was brought to the Rasul ﷺ, and it was called Al-Buraq. Al-Buraq is kind of a unique creature that doesn't actually exist on this earth, and it's a combination between, some say, a goat and a donkey, but is miraculous in the sense that the Buraq has super speed. It can stretch its feet, its hoof, to where the eye can see. So as far as the eye can see in the horizon, that's where one step of the Buraq would be, and then the next step would be as far as you can see. So literally in a matter of moments, Rasulullah was taken from Makkah all the way to Masjid al-Aqsa. Now why Masjid al-Aqsa? Because this was the very first Qibla in Islam. All Muslims never used to pray towards the Kaaba. They used to pray towards Masjid al-Aqsa, because that was a blessed mosque and a blessed place where all the other previous prophets had prayed. So when the Prophet was taken there on Al-Buraq, then it was mentioned all the 124,000 prophets were lined up in one saf, in one row, ready for Salah. So who must have led the Salah of all those prophets? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that shows you our Rasul is the leader of the prophets. He is the greatest of all the prophets. And we are, mashallah, blessed to have the best of the prophets as our leader as well. So this was the first journey of Al-Isra. Now, to show the miraculous nature of this journey, Mi'raj took place. Mi'raj is the ascension and the rising and the elevating of the Prophet ﷺ through the 7 heavens. And then at the end of the 7 heavens, there was a meeting that took place with Allah Himself. So what was the point of Mi'raj? Well, Al-Isra, some scholars have mentioned, was to give comfort to the Prophet that there were the other prophets before Rasulullah who had also been through hardship as well. Ibrahim alayhi salam with breaking the idols and his father being a worshipper of idols. Then with the other prophets of Ayub alayhi salam who had suffered, Isa alayhi salam trying to preach the message of Islam with people that were magicians and so on. So it was to console the Prophet that previous prophets have also been in struggle and difficulty, just like Rasulullah was going through at that time. The point of Miraj was to console the Prophet that there is also an afterlife, and to reinforce the idea that we are to return to Allah. So who did the Prophet meet in each of these heavens and why? Well, in the very first heaven, and as he ascended, he met the very first of our prophets, Adam alayhi salam. And it's mentioned about Adam alayhi salam that when he saw Adam, Adam was sitting on a throne, and on the right hand side there were a group of people, and on the left there were a group of people. When Adam alayhi salam would look to the right, he would smile, and his face would be beaming. But when you would look to the people on his left hand side, Adam alayhi salam would start crying and weeping. So at this time, Rasulullah asked Jibreel alayhi salam, who was with him, why is Adam alayhi salam crying and laughing when he looks at 2 group of people? It's mentioned that the people on the right hand side were the people that accepted Islam. And they were the people that were destined to be in Jannah. And the people on the left-hand side were the people that had not accepted Islam, and they had rejected Allah, and they had rejected the prophets. So when Adam saw them, he was upset. Then the Prophet ﷺ ascended to the second and third heavens. Some of the prophets he met on the way, he met Harun alayhi salam, the brother of Musa alayhi salam. And he mentioned about Harun, that Harun had a very long beard, half of it was grey and half of it was white. Half of his beard was grey and half was white, mashallah. He mentioned about Isa alayhi salam, that he had long curly hair. Then as he ascended through the heavens, he met the different prophets. Then in the sixth heaven, just before the top, he met Musa alayhi salam. And when he met Musa, Musa met the Prophet, and he started crying. And then the Rasul asked Musa alayhi salam, why are you crying? And Musa alayhi salam responded that I'm crying that you as a young man will have such a large ummah and so many followers, and I in comparison have a smaller ummah. This shows you how much the prophets love their ummah, how much they love their followers, how much they are concerned. Musa alayhi salam was upset that he didn't have as many followers as Muhammad will, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, because we are the largest of all the ummahs. Then he went to the seventh heaven, the very last heaven he was taken up to, and he saw Ibrahim alayhi salam, the great prophet Khalilullah. Ibrahim is mentioned by Ibrahim alayhi salam, that when he saw Ibrahim, he was leaning against something like this with his back. And it's mentioned this is the Kaaba of the sky. There is a Kaaba that we have on the earth in Makkah, but there is one also in the heavens as well. Directly above it is mentioned, and this is called Baytul Ma'mur. Allah mentions this in the Quran as well. وَالطُّورُ وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ فِي رَكِّ مَنْشُورٍ وَالْبَيْتِ الْمَعْمُورِ. And it's mentioned Ibrahim alayhi salam was leaning back like this. It's also mentioned that is the Kaaba of the angels, and they get to circulate that only once in their life. Then they can never come back again. So this is the Kaaba that Ibrahim alayhi salam was ascending. Then it mentions Rasulullah went into the company of Allah. He actually went into the presence of Allah, and Allah himself directly communicated to Rasulullah. And Rasulullah was commanded at that time, there was no Salah. Allah commanded and instructed the Prophet, 50 Salah for your ummah. 50 Salah. This was what the initial ruling was and what the command was of Allah, that you have been given 50 Salah, that you need to communicate that your ummah will pray. Rasulullah came down, but Musa alayhi salam saw the Prophet. And Musa alayhi salam asked Rasulullah, how many salahs have you given? What's Allah given you? He goes, I've been commanded 50 salah. Musa alayhi salam said, your ummah won't be able to do 50 salah. You should go back to Allah and request a reduction. So Rasulullah went back to Allah, and the reduction took place from 50 salah to 45. 45 salah. Rasulullah came back down, saw Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam asked again, what number is it now? 45. Musa alayhi salam said, your ummah won't be able to do it. It's too much. Go back to Allah and request a reduction. Rasulullah went back to Allah, 40 salah. Went back down, too much. Went back, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. When it was 5 salah, Rasulullah came back down. Musa alayhi salam said, this is still too much. You should go back and get it reduced even more. Rasulullah then himself said, أو كما قال, that if I was to go, I feel shy to go back. Now, do you know why the Prophet said this? Because if everything is being reduced in 5s, what would have been the next number after 5? 0. And then it's mentioned that a voice came from the heavens. And it said that 50 salah was made reward worthy. Initially, the ruling, Allah had instructed 50 salah, yes? But now it was 5. So that has been set. But I mean, the reward should be 5 now as well. No, Allah initially said 50. So a voice said, your ummah prays 5 salah, Allah will give you the reward as if you prayed 50 salah every day. Because Allah's original command was 50, wasn't it? So that means Allah's reward is getting less. No, Allah doesn't need to give less reward. Allah doesn't need to go back. 5 salah, but we get the reward of 50. And also we have a big debt to Musa alayhi salam as well for reducing it from 50. Can you imagine if it was 50 salah a day? How do we do that? We can't even pray 5 salah. So the reason why I've mentioned this is to focus in on this very aspect of our salah. Now I want to give some practical advice on how we can pray our salah. The reason why I'm mentioning it now is because in a few weeks' time, the time is going to go forward. And that means the salahs will come very difficult. Fajr will go as early as 4 o'clock in the morning, and Isha will be starting as late as 10:30. So many people struggle in the summer to read their salah. So I want to give some practical strategies how you can start implementing them now while salah time is still slightly easier. Why? Because some people have mentioned that if you do a habit for 21 days, if you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. It becomes easy for you and your body to adapt to it. And if you do something for 90 days, then it becomes a lifelong habit and a lifelong routine. So these 20 days they've got before the change of Salah time is a good opportunity to instill Salah in your life. So how can we actually instill these Salawat and make sure that we pray on time? Well, I'm going to give some practical strategies here. Fajr Salah. Early in the morning, you're tired, you're knackered, you can't be bothered to get up. Your cozy bed with a lovely silver night pillow is so luxurious. Your duvet is so warm, the water is so cold. Why would you want to get up? Well, because Allah says. But to make it easier, put the alarm in the bathroom. Put the alarm in the bathroom. You're going to get up, you can't sleep through the alarm, and when you go to the alarm and it's in the bathroom, all you need to do is turn the tap on, wudu, 2 rakats of Fajr, done. So keep the alarm in the bathroom. It's a means of you adapting and implementing it. What about Isha Salah? Isha Salah is getting later and later. Some of you have bedtime by mashallah 8 o'clock while it's still sunny. So Isha Salah is getting later, 8 o'clock, soon it will be 9 o'clock. When the time goes forward, 10:30. So how can you maintain this Salah? Well, the Prophet's habit was that he would take a nap during the day. This is called qaylula or siesta. In the, kind of other cultures. So having a nap during the day. How? On the way back home. You're going in the car, you've got a 15-20 minute ride, you know you're going to have to pray Isha Salah, you know you should be praying Isha, but you can't have a short nap. It will give you the energy to stay awake slightly later for when Isha gets later and later as well. And the final Salah, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, Asr. Allah mentions about Asr, Hafidu ala salati wa salatil wusta. Protect your salah. Hifth means protect. Just like you do hifth of Quran, you are protecting the Quran in your heart. Hafidu salah, salatul wusta. Wusta means the middle. Right in the middle of something that's very important. In fact, wusta doesn't just mean middle, it means the central part of something. The reason why Asr Salah has been called wusta is because it is in the middle of the day when people are usually most busy with their worldly affairs. School, work, whatever it might be. So this Salah usually gets bypassed very quickly, or it's not something that is seen to be important enough for you to leave your other worldly business. So the words that Allah uses is hifth, like a shield, like a protection. Make time for Asr. Whatever routines you've got, don't let Asr Salah go. In fact, the Prophet has said, Asr Salah is better, just the Sunnah before Asr, just the Sunnah Salah before Asr is better than the whole world and whatever it contains. The whole world. Do you know why the Prophet has compared it? Because you're giving up the world for Asr and Sunnah. So Allah gives you the whole world in exchange for Asr and Sunnah as well. So these are just some strategies for you to start implementing now so that you keep your salawat safe. So when it does come time for the time change and salah gets more difficult, inshallah you've developed this lifelong habit. Remember 21 days, and for those 21 days it's a habit that can never end. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to appreciate this gift of salah. And this gift was given to Rasulullah when he was feeling down, when there was struggles in his life. He was having difficulties with the people around him. Allah's teaching us a lesson. You have difficulties and struggles, salah. Salah for everything. No rain, istisqa salah. Problem in your life and you need help, salatul haja. You got a decision to make, salatul istikhara. You want help and assistance during this day, salatul duha. You want Allah to hear your du'as at night, salat qiyamul layl, salatul tahajjud. Allah's got salah for every one of your needs. Ask people, but first, ask through salah, ask Allah first. Subhanallah wa bihamdik, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.